Scientists ran DNA tests expecting clear answers. Nice, clean answers. The kind you can underline in a textbook and say, "Yep, mystery solved." But DNA looked at them and said, "Lowell, absolutely not." Instead of one straight answer, DNA dropped more questions, more plot twists, and more wait.
How?
Moments than a Netflix documentary finale. Picture this. Scientist runs DNA test confidently. DNA results. So actually, it's complicated. Maps started flickering. Timelines started shaking. History books started sweating. Because instead of saying, they came from point A to point B, DNA said, what if there was point C and D, and also someone took a detour? Now here's the wild part. DNA didn't erase the mystery. It made it worse. And I need you to help me settle something real quick. Pause for half a second and answer in the comments. Do you think DNA always tells the full story? Or is it exposing what history tried to simplify? Also, real talk. If this video is even slightly messed with your understanding of history, hit the like button right now. Not tomorrow. Not after the video. Right now. Before DNA changes its mind again. And please subscribe, because on this channel, we don't just repeat history. We question it. We poke it. And sometimes, we watch it panic when science pulls up receipts. Share this video with that one friend who says, history is already settled, because after this, they might need a seat. Now let's get into how DNA turned one simple question into a full-blown mystery. Before the DNA tests even started, the scientists were very confident. Like, we've got this confident. The plan was simple. DNA research was supposed to confirm history, not argue with it. One origin, one migration, one clean timeline you could fold neatly and place inside a textbook. Scientists expected genetic testing to say, yes, the history books were right all along. Case closed. File stamped. Mystery officially retired. Because for decades, history told one main story. People came from one place, moved in one direction, during one time period. No detours, no side quests, no plot twists. So when scientists ran these DNA tests, the expectation wasn't drama. It was confirmation. DNA was supposed to be the quiet assistant in the room, saying, yep, that checks out. In fact, many researchers believed genetic testing would finally end debates, silence arguments, and give everyone a clear answer they could stop fighting over. This test was meant to close the case, not reopen it, not rewrite it, definitely not flip the table and walk out. Quick question for you. If you were a scientist, would you rather find A, one clean answer, or B, a messy truth that changes everything? Type A or B in the comments. I'm watching. And real quick, if you're enjoying how simple this is breaking down, tap the like button, because the next part is where DNA starts acting suspicious. And subscribe, because this channel exists for one reason, to question what we thought was settled, and follow the evidence wherever it leads. Because what scientists thought they'd find is not what they actually found. When the results finally came back, scientists leaned in, expecting confirmation. A neat summary, a tidy conclusion. Instead, DNA cleared its throat and said, sorry to interrupt, but that's not what happened. Because the first surprise, mixed ancestry where none was expected, groups believed to be genetically separate suddenly showed shared DNA. Like finding out your quiet neighbor is somehow related to everyone on the street. Scientists stared at the data like, wait, how do you know them? Then came the timelines. Oh, the timelines. Dates that were supposed to line up perfectly with history books. Didn't. Some populations appeared earlier than expected. Others showed up way later. And a few basically said, yeah, we were here the whole time. History said one thing. DNA said, check again. And then came the biggest shock. Populations appearing where they shouldn't be. Genetic markers popping up in regions they weren't supposed to reach for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. That's when scientists realized something important. DNA didn't whisper, it interrupted. Quick pause. Your turn. If DNA suddenly revealed your ancestry was way more mixed than you thought, would you be excited Or would you stare at the screen in silence like these scientists did? Type excited or confused in the comments. And if this part already surprised you, even a little, tap the like button, because it only gets wilder from here. Make sure you subscribe, because on this channel we don't fear surprises. We follow them, every result, every interruption, because once DNA spoke up, history couldn't pretend it didn't hear it. All right, this is the part where the room gets quiet. No music, no confidence, just questions staring back at everyone. Once the DNA is finished interrupting, it didn't offer solutions. It offered questions, the kind nobody was emotionally prepared for. Suddenly, scientists weren't saying, "Here's the answer." They were asking, "Wait, what does this mean?" Because the first question hit hard. Were there migrations we never recorded? People moving, traveling, settling, without leaving neat notes behind saying, "Dear future historians, FYI, we were here." Then came the next one. Did ancient people travel farther than we thought? Across oceans? Across continents? Without GPS, without Google Maps, without even a "you have arrived" voice. And somehow, they still made it, which led to the question nobody wanted to ask out loud. Is history incomplete or just simplified? Because simplifying a story makes it easier to teach, but not necessarily easier to tell the truth. Now pause with me for a second. No, really, pause, because this is where the mystery breathes. If ancient people moved more than we thought, if timelines don't line up, if DNA keeps exposing shortcuts in the story, then history might not be wrong. It might just be unfinished. Your turn. Which question messes with your head the most? A. Lost migrations. B. Ancient long-distance travel. C. History being simplified. Drop A, B, or C in the comments. I'm reading. And if this made you stop and think, even for a second, tap the like button, because curiosity deserves encouragement. Make sure you subscribe, because on this channel, we don't rush answers. We sit with the questions, because sometimes the most honest thing history can say is, "We're still learning." All right, now let's bring this mystery home. Because this isn't about ancient maps or dusty bones anymore. This is about you. Today, millions of people are taking DNA ancestry tests. You spit in a tube. You wait nervously. You start making guesses like, "Okay, I'm probably 100% this, maybe 5% that." Then the results arrive, and suddenly your family group chat is never the same. Because DNA doesn't just reveal where people came from. It messes with identity, heritage, stories passed down at family gatherings that start with, "Our people have always been from," and then DNA taps the microphone and says, "About that." What these discoveries show is something powerful. Human history isn't a straight line. It's overlapping paths, unexpected connections, people moving, mixing, adapting, long before anyone thought to write it down. So when modern DNA tests reveal surprises, they're not breaking history, they're continuing it. Here's the part that really matters. If DNA is still asking questions, maybe the story isn't finished, and that applies to all of us. Your ancestry might be broader than you imagined. Your roots might cross borders you were never taught about, and that doesn't erase who you are. It adds chapters. Quick question for you. Have you ever taken a DNA test, or would you be brave enough to take one? Type yes, no, or "I'm scared" in the comments. No judgment, I promise. And if this made you see history, and yourself, a little differently, hit the like button. Because curiosity keeps us growing. Make sure you subscribe, because on this channel we don't treat history like it's done talking. We listen, especially when DNA has more to say. So here's the big question, and I want you to actually think about it for half a second. Do you trust DNA more, or history books? Because on one hand, history books are confident. They've got dates, maps, footnotes, that serious font that says, "I am correct. Do not question me." But DNA just shows up like, "I don't care about your chapters. I brought receipts." No opinions, no traditions. No, this is how we've always taught it. Just data quietly ruining everyone's comfort. Now your turn. Type DNA or history in the comments. No essays, no fighting, just vibes. And if this video surprised you, even a little, smash the like button, because that tells YouTube, hey, more people need their timelines shaken today. Also, share this video with that one friend who trusts textbooks like sacred scripture. You know the one. They're already typing a comment in their head. And please subscribe. Not because I'm begging, but because this channel is where science keeps exposing the plot holes history forgot to explain. We ask uncomfortable questions. We follow strange evidence. And sometimes, we watch history clear its throat and say, okay, maybe I need a footnote. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stick around. Because the next mystery, science isn't done interrupting yet.